Good morning, 819S. It's another nice day. The rain has let up for a little bit. Today, the temperature is about 23 degrees with a high of 26, I believe. So yeah, it's a nice one to be outside. You can feel the humidity. I think once it heats up a little bit, it's going to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. But yeah, it's still going to be a really nice day today. Whew. Yesterday, I'm disappointed I wasn't able to get my point across as clearly as I wanted to. That's definitely from the lack of sleep. So, yeah, I'm going to revisit that topic again when I can organize my thoughts a little bit more clearly. But, it is what it is. And today, there's something interesting I wanted to talk about. One is just how life kind of connects things all at the same time, which I think is kind of funny. A few weeks ago, I pulled my bike into the parking lot and I saw a strange sticker on a bike that I had never seen before. It was almost hidden. It was tucked in behind a saddlebag underneath the frame, underneath the rack on the back, and it just said Kosho. Kosho means out of order. It means broken, it means not functioning or not working. And I thought, well, that's a kind of silly thing to put on your bike. I don't know why you would want to do that, why you would want to put that there. I don't know if it's some kind of in-joke or something like that I just wasn't aware of. Okay, whatever. I didn't mind it, I didn't care too much, but I did notice it. Then, on Instagram a few days ago, I was scrolling through videos, and a guy, I believe in Kyushu, was riding his motorcycle, was stopped by the police as a random checkpoint. They had a police van sitting there with 6 or 7 Shudobai police motorcycles, and they were basically stopping every motorcycle that came by to check for violations of Japan's road regulations. I know that they do things like this in different places. Fortunately, knock on plastic, that I have not seen this in real life. I have been stopped 2 or 3 times for alcohol checkpoints, especially in December. Basically, December is year-end party season. It's where everyone at the end of the year to celebrate goes out and has drinks with their coworkers. And as a result, some people may end up driving home after consuming an alcoholic beverage. And just a quick side story before I get back to the main topic. The first time it happened to me was actually during COVID, and it was really, really surprising, unbelievably surprising. So during COVID, everyone was worried about breath. Everyone needed to mask up. Everyone needed to be protective, keep your 2 meters distance from everybody, social distancing and masking. And I turned onto a main road. There was a small road that connected the side street I was on to the main road, and the police were there. They were stopping every vehicle and checking for alcohol. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to get off the bike, take off my helmet. I'm probably going to have to breathe into a breathalyzer. This is going to be terrible. And the police officer looked at me and he said, did you drink any alcohol? And I'm like, alcohol? Yeah, no, I didn't drink any alcohol. He's like, all right, breathe into my mouth. And I was like, what? He's like, let me smell your breath. And I'm like, okay. And I lifted my helmet up just a little bit so the chin bar wasn't blocking my mouth, and I just took a deep breath out. And he went, okay, you're safe, go. And then he told me, go. And then the next car behind me, maybe same thing, the car behind that, same thing. And I was like, it's just weird. I don't think I would want to smell people's breath over and over and over again as a police officer. 2, there are definitely some kind of health implications regardless of COVID. But 3, that was during COVID time. That was a really weird time to want someone to breathe into your mouth specifically. It was, or into your nose specifically. That was weird to me. And then the second time, same thing happened. It was a smaller street, side street, year-end party season. Police were like, did you drink any alcohol? No. Can you breathe? Okay, you can go. I was like, I don't know if that's the norm, but my two experiences were both like that. And so, police do run checkpoints from time to time for various things, alcohol being one, and the maintenance of your vehicle or the condition of your vehicle is another. So, in the video that I saw on Instagram, the guy was riding a cruiser-style bike. He was stopped by the police. He made the video into a little bit of a joke where he's like, this concierge in a blue uniform guided me over to the VIP area or something like that. It was kind of funny the way that he described it. But ultimately, what happened in the video is his tires were too worn out. His tires were bald, especially in the center. The side still had some grooves left, but the center of the tire was basically the slick. And his muffler was too loud. The police, when they set up a checkpoint for that, will have the proper measurement equipment for testing the decibel level of a bike, and they take their precious time to set the equipment up, measure everything, make sure that it's being done the right way. Doesn't matter if you're on the way somewhere; you're just gonna have to go through their test. But anyways, in the end, he ended up receiving a red sticker that said Kosho on the bike. Apparently, the police stick it on your bike, indicating that the bike is not roadworthy. And in this case, this person also lost their gold license. So in Japan, if you've had a gold, you can get a gold license if you have no driving mistakes for, I believe it's 7 years. I'm going to have to double check the standard. There's a few different standards, I think, based on your age and driving experience and stuff. But I think it's either 5 years or 7 years. No mistake, no accident, no tickets, no violations. You receive a gold license. A gold license makes it a little bit easier for you to renew your license and can offer you a discount in insurance and things like that. So it's good to have a gold license. It's also considered like a bragging point for a lot of people. If you do have a gold license, that means you're a really safe driver, theoretically, or you were never caught, but that's why I say theoretically. So a lot of people brag about it, and then some people will say, I have a gold license, and then they also call themselves a paper driver. Paper driver in Japan typically just means that you have a license, but you never drive. Never. So you have the paper to say that you're a driver, but you're not an actual driver because you don't operate vehicles often. Yeah. So I have a gold license, and my pink scooter's rear tire is worn out, and my big bike, the CRF's rear tire is also, it's borderline. I think a police officer could easily argue that it's worn out. The rear tire only. The front tire on both bikes are both fine. I've replaced them both. But it's a matter of time and money to replace those two. So now I feel like after watching that video, those two bikes are more or less out of commission until I get the maintenance done, because I don't want to be stopped by the police and told that my bike is not roadworthy. A little bit of Googling yesterday, I found that one violation where you get this out of order, I think it's Sharyo Unten Teishi is what the name of the mark is in Japanese. One time for one offense probably won't get your gold license revoked, or I guess revoked is a little bit strong word. You won't lose your gold license for that. But if you do multiple things, there are multiple offenses, or you combine it with speeding or other kinds of reckless driving, then you're going to end up losing your gold license for sure. So, yeah. So now, for the time being, this season, I'm going to have to finish out with Jerry, with my Tact, because I don't want to risk losing my gold license. So a little bit more about that red ticket or red sticker. My understanding is that once you receive that red sticker, your vehicle, it doesn't only apply to bikes, it also applies to cars. your vehicle is now not considered roadworthy, and continuing to drive it would be a violation of the law. So, if you do get that, I don't know how to get the bike from where the police stopped you back to your house. I'm assuming you're going to have to pay for a tow, or you're going to have to push it, or you're going to have to leave it in a nearby parking lot, something like that. But I think riding it home would be a violation of the law. So you don't want to do that. And then I haven't looked into all the ins and outs of how this, the actual procedure to get this done. But what you do need to do then is have the vehicle repaired or fixed, either by yourself or by a professional mechanic. And then I think the police will have to, I'm not sure about this one, but I think the police will have to re-inspect the vehicle to make sure that the violations have been dealt with. Yeah. The police can be pretty strict here, which is, I know, good for public safety, but frustrating for people who want to customize their things. Excuse me. A list of things that could cause problems would be illegal lighting, so having the lights too bright, too dim, in the wrong place, disableable, things like that, loud mufflers, I think things that extend off of the bike too far. So one of the important things is knowing the width of what a vehicle can carry is important. If you have saddlebags or something on the bike that are beyond the legal width of the bike, that would be potentially illegal. I don't know all the ins and outs of how those things are measured. Maybe handlebars that are too wide. There's a pretty big list of illegal modifications. Some of it is related specifically to like bosozoku or gang activity, like illegal lighting and stuff like that. Some of it is just general safety and public safety. So I think the width of handlebars is maybe more of a safety issue than it is a gang or juvenile issue. And one last point from personal experience. When I did have my accident many years ago here in Japan, the police inspected my bike in a way that was surprising to me. They had a tape measure, they had a camera, they basically measured everything that was measurable, it seemed, and documented everything and asked me a lot of questions about modifications I had done to the bike and if the handlebars were stock and how tall it was and things like that. And yeah, basically they had, they measured the handlebar width, they measured the height, they measured the seat from front to back. They were looking specifically for things that I had done to the bike. And at that time, it was when I just had bought my bike. So I would say a month or two into owning a bike for the first time in Japan. I bought it from the Honda dealer that way. It was used, but I still bought it from a Honda dealer directly, so I'm assuming they wouldn't allow too many illegal modifications. In fact, I said too many. I don't think they'd allow any illegal modifications if they're an actual Honda dealer. And so, yeah, the police, every time I've seen an actual traffic accident too, they mark X's and circles on the road, they measure things out, they photograph everything, they kind of very clearly and thoroughly document situations like that. So they did the same thing with my accident, but with my bike more specifically, not as much with the road itself. So yeah, if you do come to Japan and you modify your vehicle, just beware. Just because 250s and under don't need shock-end doesn't mean the police can't disable your vehicle until the repairs are made. And if you're worried about having things like a gold license, you may want to be extra cautious about what kind of repairs you do make, because you might be putting yourself at risk. And then maintenance can be a lot more important, because if you have worn out tires or other kind of violations, you may end up losing your gold license as a result of that too, even though you may consider it to be safe. The police may see it differently. So, all right, I am almost at work, so I think I'll wrap this one up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I think this is day 51, so I'm really impressed with myself for making progress like this. Gonna keep it up 365. If you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, please leave them in the comment section. See you guys in the next one. Ride safe.